In 1914, Europe resembled a room packed with fireworks, and one careless spark was already hissing. That spark was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which sounded small, but landed like a dropped match. Alliances clicked into place like dominoes, because nothing says calm diplomacy like automatic promises to fight. Nationalism whispered, "We're special," while militarism shouted, "And we're armed," and everyone listened. World War I exploded across continents, powered by optimism, outdated tactics, and a tragic misunderstanding of machine guns. Generals expected quick victories, but instead got trenches that looked like muddy scars across Europe. Soldiers lived underground for years, thinking, surely this ends soon, while history shook its head. Poison gas drifted silently, proving humanity could weaponize even the air, which felt impressively awful. By 1918, millions were dead, empires collapsed, and survivors asked how a royal feud became global catastrophe. The war ended, but peace arrived carrying paperwork, grudges, and a very sharp pen called the Treaty of Versailles. Germany was blamed, fined, humiliated, and told, "Behave," which history shows is not a healing strategy. Economic pain spread like a bad hangover, and resentment became the most common political currency. One failed Austrian painter named Adolf Hitler watched closely, thinking, this injustice will be useful. The Great Depression then kicked the world while it was down, because timing can be cruel. Desperate populations began trading democracy for promises, like customers buying miracle cures. Fascism rose in Italy and Germany, offering unity, pride, and someone convenient to blame. Hitler rearmed Germany, violating treaties while other nations sighed, maybe he'll stop soon. Appeasement sounded reasonable, like lending your house keys to a shouting neighbor. In 1939, Germany invaded Poland, and World War II officially punched the calendar. This time, the war moved faster, hit harder, and came with tanks, blitzkrieg, and terrifying efficiency. Britain stood alone briefly, with Churchill muttering, "We shall never surrender," probably between cigars. The war widened when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, proving oceans were no longer safe buffers. The United States entered, turning factories into weapons on an industrial scale. Nazi ideology escalated into genocide, revealing how ideas can kill before bullets do. The Holocaust showed humanity's darkest depth, planned with paperwork, schedules, and chilling calm. On the Eastern Front, Hitler ignored generals and winter, which never ends well. Stalingrad broke the German army, like a hinge snapping under impossible weight. In 1944, Allied forces stormed Normandy, because opening a second front required extraordinary courage. Victory in Europe came in 1945, leaving cities shattered and continents exhausted. But the war still burned in the Pacific, where island battles felt like nature versus machines. American leaders faced a grim choice: invade Japan or unleash a new kind of weapon. The atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, instantly turning a city into a warning. 3 days later, Nagasaki followed, and the world realized it could now end itself. Japan surrendered, and World War II officially ended with relief and quiet horror. Humanity had survived, but only barely, like someone missing traffic by inches. The death toll reached tens of millions, making statistics feel inadequate and cold. Empires dissolved, borders shifted, and the United Nations was created to prevent repeats. Leaders promised never again, a phrase history treats as a suggestion. The same victors soon distrusted each other, splitting the world into rival camps. Nuclear weapons multiplied, because fear apparently encourages copying homework. During the Cold War, buttons existed that could end civilization in minutes. In 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis brought the world within hours of nuclear war. Kennedy and Khrushchev stared each other down, both thinking, "Please blink first." One submarine officer refused to launch nuclear torpedoes, accidentally saving humanity. The crisis ended peacefully, proving restraint can be more powerful than missiles. Yet wars continued, smaller but fueled by the same pride and miscalculation. The lesson was clear but inconvenient. Humans are brilliant, emotional, and dangerously forgetful. World War I planted seeds. World War II harvested them, and nuclear weapons threatened the field itself. Technology raced ahead, while wisdom jogged behind, waving apologetically. Each generation believed it was smarter than the last, which history finds adorable. Nationalism still promised greatness, ignoring the fine print about consequences. Weapons grew deadlier, while diplomacy often struggled to keep up. The wars proved destruction scales faster than understanding. Ordinary people paid the highest price for leaders' gambles and egos. Letters, diaries, and photos reveal fear, hope, and astonishing resilience. Veterans returned home changed, carrying memories heavier than metals. Cities rebuilt, proving humans are stubbornly creative after disasters. Yet monuments quietly remind us how close everything came to ending. The 20th century showed war is not just about land, but survival. Twice, humanity stood at the edge and leaned forward. Twice, it stepped back, shaken but alive. The danger wasn't villains alone, but systems that rewarded aggression. Small decisions compounded, like interest on a terrible loan. The wars taught that peace requires constant effort, not victory speeches. Forgetting history is like deleting the warning labels. Remembering it is uncomfortable, but far safer. The world today still carries scars from those near-apocalyptic years. Every missile silo and treaty echoes the same cautionary tale. War almost ended the world twice, not by accident, but by choice. The real question is whether humanity finally learned, or is just catching its breath.